She said, I never seen a man who looks so all alone. Could you use a little company? But if you play the right price.
Back in the 2000s, Randy Pitchford was working on a new project at Gearbox in which he wanted to combine the first-person shooter and role-playing game genres, resulting in a role-playing shooter game called Borderlands. Development started around 2005 and the game initially had realistic graphics, inspired by the Mass Effect and Gears of War series. However, this was changed as the realistic brown muted color palette did not match with the tone of the game. Chief Creative Officer Brian Martel and a small team secretly created a version of the game that had the cel-shading art style which was partially inspired by Ben Hibon's short film Codehunters. When Gearbox and 2K Games saw this new style, it was decided to use this for the final product. While the game was planned to release in 2008, Borderlands was finally released in 2009. I've already played Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, but I haven't played the original Borderlands yet. That changes now. Did Gearbox manage to create a first installment that still holds up today? Let's find out.
So, you want to hear a story, huh? One about treasure hunters. Have I got a story for you?
The game starts with an interesting cutscene after which you can select the character you want to play as for the rest of the game. There are a total of 4 characters, each with their own unique special skills and weapon proficiencies. This includes Roland the Soldier, who is an all-round character and he can deploy a Scorpio turret, Mordecai the Hunter, who can kill long-range targets thanks to his Bloodwing skill, Break the Berserker, who can enter Berserk mode to smash his enemies into pieces, and finally Lilith the Siren, who can turn invincible and stay safe from incoming enemy gunfire thanks to her Face Walk skill, and she can also deal elemental damage with melee attacks. For this review, I decided to play as Lilith. After picking your character, you arrive at the town of Firestone, get contacted by the so-called Guardian Angel and meet the talkative Claptrap, which you will either like immediately or find extremely annoying. I can tolerate them and at times I find them hilarious.
Wow, you're not dead?
It's your goal to find artifacts to complete the vault key to open a vault that holds valuable goods. Once you arrive at the vault, a giant monster called the Destroyer emerges and wipes out your competition who are also after the vault. After killing the monster, the vault is sealed for 200 years. And it turns out that the Guardian Angel was not on the planet Pandora but was transmitting her signals through a Hyperion satellite in the galaxy.
I'm sure Tannis will pay you quite the fortune for it. Now go. I'll be watching.
Along your journey to the vault you encounter NPCs and complete missions, and while I honestly didn't care about the story, the characters have a lot of charm, which makes the cutscenes and dialogue very entertaining to watch and listen to.
Please make yourself at home. My men will be with you shortly. Never let it be said that the great Baron Flint is short on hospitality.
Completing missions rewards you with money, weapons or other items and experience points. You can also earn XP by killing enemies and by completing challenges. Once you level up, you can spend skill points into a skill tree with 3 specializations, which in the case of Lilith are Controller, Elemental and Assassin. You start with 1 weapon but can equip up to 4 weapons by completing story missions, which will be necessary as enemies just soak up bullets, meaning you will run out of ammo very quickly, which is especially true for the submachine guns. This means that it is best to equip only 1 weapon of each type, since similar weapons share ammo, meaning you will run out of ammo even faster. Still, even when I applied this tactic, I often had to run back to a shop to buy more ammo, which can be quite annoying if the run back is long. Aside from weapons, you can also equip grenades and an energy shield to increase your resistance against enemy bullets. It won't be long before you reach the maximum capacity of your inventory, at which point you either need to drop items or preferably sell them at vendors to get some money that you can spend on upgrades and better weapons. Thanks to the procedural content creation system, you will constantly find weapons and items with random modifications to their firepower, accuracy, rate of fire and potential elemental effects. Since you will constantly find loot, it is important to distinguish the useless from useful weapons, and Borderlands helps you with this by using colors to indicate a weapon's rareness. This makes it immediately clear if you should check out a weapon's stats or just leave it alone, given that rarer weapons are often better compared to more common weapons. This is amplified by the level requirement of a weapon, as a level 20 weapon is much stronger than a level 16 weapon. And it cannot be understated how important your level is, as doing a mission under leveled is nearly impossible and more importantly not enjoyable whatsoever. So don't rush through the main missions, but also take your time and do side missions. If you do find yourself getting downed, which even when sufficiently leveled up will still happen frequently, you get a chance to kill an enemy, and if you manage to do this you can get back up again with a bit of health. If you fail to do this, you will just regenerate at the last new U station that you passed, losing a bit of money as a penalty. Most environments are large, uninteresting wastelands which can be a drag to move across, as you often find yourself just slowly walking towards your next objective. But luckily you get access to vehicles early on in the game, making it take much less time to get to your next objective. And later on you get an even more convenient fast traveling ability, avoiding annoying backtracking. While I played the game alone, it is also possible to play with a friend via split screen multiplayer and with up to 4 players online.
It's a beautiful day, full of opportunity.
Thanks to the cel-shaded graphics, this game has aged incredibly well in terms of visuals, as even all these years after its initial release it still looks really good. Though unfortunately the performance is a bit of an issue for the Xbox 360, as with a lot of enemies on screen the frame rate drops, which can be a bit distracting. So if you have the option, the PC version or Borderlands Legendary Edition are definitely better alternatives. After sinking lots of hours in Borderlands, I can say I had a great time playing this game. Unlike my time playing Borderlands and the pre-sequel, I decided to take my time and do much more side quests. This meant I was sufficiently leveled up for the main missions, which made them much less frustrating and difficult. I often told myself just one more mission, and before I knew it I was playing for another hour. So the leveling aspect and just finding better weapons is very well done, that makes you want to continue playing. While I'm still not a big fan of the fact that you have to be a certain level in order to be able to survive, I still appreciate the game for what it does well. And that is making an addictive loot and shooter that, aside from a few issues, has stood the test of time.
But check me out. Oh, come on, get down.